Everybody's asking the same question. Are we heading into a recession or are we already in one? Because on one side, stock market is being pushed higher by AI, tech stocks, and massive spending on chips, data centers, and cloud infrastructure. But on the other side, we are seeing layoffs, slower hiring, expensive groceries, high housing costs, and people feeling like economy is not as strong as stock market says. So today, let's break it down in a simple way. We're going to talk about business cycle and what actually causes recessions, what the latest layoffs data is showing, and whether AI stocks from today are starting to look like dot-com bubble from 2000. And this is important because every major cycle, the same thing happens. And the price people pay for it can still become dangerous. Hi everyone, welcome back to Investing Long Life, where I talk about investing, stocks, crypto, macroeconomics, real estate. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is just an educational video. Always do your own research before investing. Okay, let's start with the basics. What is the business cycle? The economy does not move in a straight line. It moves in cycles. There are usually four main phases: expansion, peak, contraction, trough. During an expansion, businesses are growing and hiring. Consumers are spending. Wages usually rise. Stocks often do well because profits are growing. Then comes the peak. This is when the economy is still strong, but it may be getting too hot. Inflation may rise. Asset prices might become expensive. Companies might overhire, overborrow, overinvest. And then comes contraction. This is where the growth gets slow. Consumers pull back. Businesses become cautious and hiring gets slow. Layoffs increase and stocks start falling because even an average person starts to realize that economy is weakening. And finally, we get to the trough. That is the bottom of the cycle. This is where usually the things feel the worst emotionally. But it can also be when the long-term opportunities start forming and the cycle starts again. This is why I always say the stock market is not the economy, but it usually tries to predict where the economy is going next. So, are we in a recession right now? Based on the latest official data, not yet. The US economy grew 2% annual rate in 2026 in the first quarter, after growing only 0.5% in the last quarter, 2025. That means the growth slowed before, but it did not go in negatives in the first quarter of this year. The unemployment rate in April was 4.3%, unchanged from the previous month. Payrolls increased by 115,000 jobs, which is not a booming labor market, but it is not the kind of collapse we see during a deep recession. A recession is not just about one number. Recession is when there is 2 quarters of negative GDP, but official recession call is quite complex. The National Bureau of Economic Research looks at multiple things in economy, including income, production, sales, employment, and broader economic activity. And the NBER confirms the recession after the fact, not in real time. In my honest opinion, we are not officially in recession yet, but we may be in a very uneven economy. So some areas are really strong. AI sector is really strong. Healthcare is still adding jobs. Some companies are really strong and others are showing weakness. Tech layoffs are rising. They are feeling pressure from housing, inflation, insurance, childcare, debt. So this may not be a classic recession yet, but it does feel like a late cycle economy. And this is why understanding the business cycle is important. The economy does not shift overnight. First, the companies get cautious, then hiring slows, and then the layoffs rise. And eventually the consumers pull back. But the stock market moves before everything becomes obvious. Right now, the biggest story supporting the market is AI. In part 2 of this video, I will talk about AI stocks, layoffs, dot-com bubble, and whether earnings are justifying the rally. Because in 2000, the internet was real, but still investors lost money. Even though internet changed the world, but investors lost money because of overvaluation. Watch and follow part 2 for knowing about all of these. Please subscribe my channel for watching more videos like this. 不出手，说聊斋，这一把直接喝，愿
花钱交朋